Hello and welcome to Andy's Shed Live. This is Series 9, episode number 20 for Sunday the 21st of November 2021. Hello, welcome to the show everybody. I hope you're having a good one. I hope you can hear me and see me and everything is okay. This evening I've got an assistant helping me out today, wherever my assistant's gone. Odin! What are you doing? My assistant's run off for a minute. I'm sure he'll be here in a little while, but we'll just do a little check-in, see who we've got here. We've got Christopher here, Penfold's here, Wesley's here, Dominic's here, Jim is here. Yeah, so quite a few people here already. Most of you here before me, as usual, and covered in dog hairs for reasons that you'll probably see in a minute. Yeah. So yeah, right. So yeah, we've just a relatively short show this evening, I think, and it's a good chance because we're not going to be on for a couple of weeks after today, so it's a good chance. If you've got any questions or anything, get them in, put them in the chat now, and I'll get to them before the end of the show, because we got to episode 20, so we're going to say that's the end of Series 9 at episode 20. We're going to have 2, maybe 3 weeks off, and then we'll be back. But the weeks that we're off, there will be recorded premieres going out, hopefully. Fingers crossed, if all the technology works on the weeks that we're off. So it's not like there won't be anything for you to do at this time on a Sunday night. It's just that the next 2 or 3 week shows will be recorded. Because there's a kind of limit to what you can do when you're sat here on a live stream, and it's not easy to do the live streams from elsewhere when it's just me. If there was somebody else to sort of help out with the actual live show, with the technical side of it, press the buttons and things, then we could go places and do things with it. But because there isn't, it's quite difficult to do that. So we will crack on, shall we, and see what we're going to do today. Just to tell you, as always, of course, that if you want to get in touch with us and you can't get into the live chat for whatever reason, maybe you're watching this after the event, you can always send us a message. You do it via our website, where you'll find a contact us form. The website is here. It's andyshed.colepress.net. That's andyshed.colepress.net is the website. And if you like what you do here and you fancy supporting the show for just the equivalent of $1 a month, you can support us on Patreon. www.patreon.com. Again, /AndyShed is the address for that. And remember, we've also got a telephone forum, which you'll find here, www.gpotelephones.proboards.com. That's the telephone forum, and there's all sorts on there. There's 1 or 2 of you have been quite active, putting up photos and things, which is good. So yeah, there's been all sorts of stuff going on there. Right, I'm just altering my chat settings to live chat from top chat. And here we are. Right, what's everybody been saying? Because when you turn it off top chat and turn it back onto live chat, you suddenly realise there's a load of messages that you didn't see before. Don't know what that top chat's for, but if you're set to top chat, put it onto live chat and you'll see more messages. Wesley and Dominic say they've been busy. Dominic's been looking after the neighbour's dog this weekend. Dominic says you could have a live recording van like the BBC used to, Andy. Yes. North One. Yeah. If anybody knows what North One is, I might try and find the website for North One in a minute and I'll show you North One. Yeah. Well, yes. Live recording. It's amazing when I think about it. When I was a kid, what it took to do a live, what is effectively a live television show, the technology it took, and the size, the physical size of all the equipment back in, let's say, the 1970s, and now you can basically do it off your smartphone. But yeah, there was a wonderful thing. The BBC OB units, if you remember things on TV like Multicolour Swap Shop and a little bit later Saturday Superstore with Keith Chegwin on his swappy, then you'll know exactly what we're talking about when we talk about these OBs, and they are just absolutely stunning pieces of kit. They really are. I will try and find a picture of North One for you, which is one of the BBC OB units that has now been preserved. Oh, it's not North 1, it's North 3, sorry, that's been preserved. But here's some of the OB units. If I don't know if I can get this page up. If I can show you this page. Should be able to. That's it. That's the page I want to show you. Right. Have a look at this. I found this online. This is tvobhistory.co.uk. Is where I've gone and found this. And this is the page that I've just discovered. That's got all these OB units on it. So there's BBC Manchester 21, a BBC Marconi unit, which are the same thing when you look at them actually. One's 388 EXH and one's 390 EXH. But the one that I've seen before is this one, North 3. North 3 is amazing because I don't know about all the others, but North 3 has certainly got all the camera kit and that inside it. So it turns up somewhere and it sets up, and it has been back to the BBC as well to do special events. I think it went back. Did it go when Pebble Mill closed? Oh, Manchester. I think Manchester Oxford Road, or Manchester Oxford Road closed. I think it went back there. But these are the sort of coach-built OB units. And you see Southern, which was a franchise of ITV. They used a bus. It's actually a Bedford Val. That one on the right-hand side there. If you look very carefully, you'll see it's got two front axles. It's based on a Bedford Val coach. That one that Southern had, but all the others were basically pretty much coach-built things for the companies. The one at the bottom there, BBC Type 5, I remember those. I definitely remember those turning up in Sheffield to broadcast a snooker and things like that. But yeah, shall we click on? click on North 3, and it tells you all about it. It's owned by Steve Harris apparently. And there's all the blurb about it. Any more pictures, and there it is, and that's the kind of state it was in when he got it. So it wasn't exactly pristine, was it? It's done a heck of a lot of work on it, and there you can see inside it, and all that kit, all that gear, all that to get a lower definition picture back than what you are watching now. And it's not that many years ago. It's really not that long ago since that was on. But yeah, thanks to tvobhistory.co.uk for this page. If you want to go and check out their website, you can do. You'll go down a right rabbit hole of technology. But yeah, it makes the bits and pieces that I've acquired over the years pale into insignificance when you see that lot, doesn't it? It really, really does. But yeah, so that's it. That's the inside of a outside broadcast unit. And now we do it with this. So I can't get over it. I can't get over the difference. Right, how's everybody getting on in the chat? Dominic says a very good video of it on YouTube, where they recreate a 70s live darts program. Oh yeah, I've seen that actually. Yeah. Penfold says, I remember Grampian Television Studio in the late 80s. The advert videotape machine was a huge device with cassettes of adverts on a Caterpillar tractor track. That spun around and slotted adverts in. Yes, I've seen one of those. Yeah, it's like got cassettes that rotate round, and like you say, on like a Caterpillar track in this machine, hasn't it? And when they get to a certain place on the Caterpillar track, they then go into a little slot and play. But yeah, I've seen those. Bet none of those exist now. Nobody would have kept one of those. They were too big. And all the adverts now will be on a small SSD hard drive, well, which they are basically. They're all on computer now, and nearly all your television channels play out now from the same place. They play out from the Red Bee Playout Centre in West London, which is near but not at where Television Centre used to be. Well, Television Centre's still there, but it's not. It doesn't do much television. Well, it does some television again now, but a lot of it's been converted into flats, hasn't it? But yeah, most of the television channels play out from a place called Red Bee Media. So, and the interesting thing about Red Bee Media is they're very prone to having their fire alarms go off. It happens quite regularly, and when it does, they play out. There's that uproar. Because there's various channels being played out from Red Bee Media, so that's where it all actually comes from these days, or where most of it actually comes from. Dominic says that Caterpillar track to load videotape with adverts on it sounds very Techmoan. Yeah, I don't think even Techmoan will manage to get hold of one of those. They're They used to be quite common, very expensive, but quite common. But I don't think such a thing will have survived, because they were huge. They wouldn't fit in this room that I'm in now. You just wouldn't be able to get it in. You wouldn't even get it through the door. They were massive. They really were. But yeah, how the technology has marched on, eh? It really has moved apace. But of course, there are little bits of the technology preserved. I mean, I've got various VT machines, various broadcast VT machines here. So some of the first electronic news gathering machines, and that the u-matic videos and stuff. So, and when I find bits of it, people go, "What's this?" I think, yeah, I know what it is. Yeah. That's a bit of BBC TV circa 1975. So yeah, even the phones. I have a feeling some of the phones here may have come from the BBC, because the BBC had these that are on the windowsill. Can I spin this camera around and show you? These. The BBC had a lot of these sort of 746 clones, but with DTMF with star and hash keys on. They had a lot of those, many, maybe hundreds of those, I would think, in Television Centre, and they're not a common phone otherwise. So I wonder, I've got about 5 or 6 of them, and I wonder if any of them came from the BBC. So, yeah, it would be interesting to know. Christopher says, "Did you get the email I sent of a coloured telephone cord?" Yes, I've got it, I think, Christopher. I'll get to it in a minute. Yeah. So yeah, so that is that. If you're wanting to know the news of the radio stuff that we've got, there will be big news when we come back in 2 or 3 weeks' time. Hopefully, big news. Hopefully, 2 or 3 weeks' time when we're back on the live show again. We are looking for somewhere at the moment to basically set up a new studio, so we can broadcast from somewhere that's not here. Basically, so we can broadcast from elsewhere, and that will allow us to make more videos, and hopefully some different videos as well. And it will also, hopefully, fingers crossed again, set up as a live radio station using one of those mixers that I showed you last week that we've got kicking around. So hopefully we will be doing that. So that's in 2 or 3 weeks' time when we come back. And there will be some new ways to support the new project as well through Patreon and things like that, and new stuff that we will be getting up to. So watch out when we come back in 2 or 3 weeks' time, or if you're on Patreon, watch out for the patrons blog, because we'll be showing you guys first, and we'll be showing you all of what we're getting up to. Talking of stuff we're getting up to, if I turn this camera around this way a bit, you will see this computer over here behind me is switched off this week, and the reason it's switched off is because we've reinstalled its software 3 times since last week when it was switched on. Get me a bit of paper. You may remember it was running a piece of radio software called Rivendell. Well, it was running Rivendell 2 last week, and in the week I realised that Rivendell 2 was not current anymore. The current version of Rivendell is Rivendell version 3. But as of last month, there is a beta, whatever you want to call it, test out of Rivendell version 4. So over the weekend, this weekend, I've installed Rivendell version 4 on there, and guess what? With it being in beta test, it doesn't work. There are bits of it that don't work. So this afternoon, I've took it all down again and put version 3 on. So I've gone from version 2 last week to version 4, and now I've dropped back to version 3, which hopefully will work. Yeah, we're hoping that we'll be able to get that working as part of the new radio station. So this, which is the stuff for Rivendell version 4, don't install it yet because it's got bugs in it. But in fairness to the people at Rivendell, it is in beta testing, so you know that's their escape clause. It's not really supposed to be fully working yet. They've not properly released it. Dominic says, what sort of programming would you have on the radio station? That's a good question, Dominic. We haven't really got that far yet. I'm thinking I'd quite like to do it in the style of how local commercial radio was in the late 80s or early 90s. Around about 1990, I spent a lot of time around the Peterborough area, and there was a local station in Peterborough, and I don't know if it's still going or not, or if it's part of this global network now, but there was a local station in Peterborough called Hereward FM, and they were just a really slick local station, but they were a local station. Because now, I don't know what it's like in other parts of the country, I'm guessing it's the same as it is here. Locally here we've got Radio Sheffield, and the commercial station in Sheffield, the major commercial station, is Hallam FM, and the BBC local station is Radio Sheffield, and they're both bad for different reasons. Radio Sheffield, although it's got lots of local content and lots of local stuff, and it genuinely all does come from Sheffield, or most of it does, as with everything at the BBC, their presentation is poor. You know, it's not polished, shall we say. Then you've got Hallam FM, which is very polished and whizzy, and it's got all the jingles and things, but it's got no content. It's just more or less back-to-back music. And also, it's not a local station anymore, because most of its content now is networked from London or God knows where. So something somewhere between the two. I think there's a happy medium ground that nobody seems to inhabit at the minute. So that's kind of what commercial local radio used to do, and it's kind of what I would like to do, but not all music, because there are literally thousands and thousands and thousands of internet radio stations that just play back-to-back music, and that's because they're automated. They're automated systems. It's just somebody who set up a station in their spare room, maybe got a room a little bit like this, and it's just playing all the time, the computer, and there's nobody there. But I don't want to do it like that. I want to do it with where basically every song is properly announced and that. And, so we're looking at ways of doing it, and this Rivendell computer system will let you do it, because it lets you do something called voice tracking, whereby you do all the links between the songs beforehand and then it slots them in. Or you can operate it live, just like an old radio station with cart machines and things like that. My furry assistant has joined me. Hello, Odin. You alright? Eh? Good boy. So yeah. So I don't really quite know, but yeah, if you think about this in terms of style, if you think about how commercial radio was around about late 80s, early 90s, that's what we're going for, basically. Christopher says, I saw a red... Oh, we're back on telephones here, changing tack entirely now. Christopher says, I saw a red unknown 706 clone phone on Australian Railway last week. Could well be. Could well be. Probably an Ericsson. They made them in red. He said, oh, I also saw a steam loco yesterday. Excellent. Is it the same one, Christopher, or is it a different one? Right. Okie dokie. We are sort of getting there, I think. Right. Talking of telephones, we've been having a bit of a sort out here. We're having a bit of a clear out and things, and I found something that I'd forgotten about under the desk here. I found this under the desk. So I thought I would show you this because there's a bit of sort of mix up with these. If I can get it in the camera shot. Now this is from the sort of mid to late 1970s. This particular one is dated 1979, and it's a GPO 776 telephone. This one is unusual in that it's got a wall bracket. It sits on a wall bracket, this one. So that's the phone bit, and obviously that's the wall bracket bit that it sits on. Now, as many of you will know, these came out. These are sometimes called compact telephones, sometimes called Jubilee telephones. They are not the same thing though, because the story is that in the early 1970s, the GPO were looking for a small telephone they could sell at a premium. And one problem that they had back then, and they still have to this day, is their normal phones, the 706 and 746, wouldn't fit on a windowsill very well. As you can tell by these push button variants that I've got there. Look, you can see the front feet hanging over the windowsill. So that was a common thing. So in the early 70s they did a field trial for a compact telephone which looked something like that. Okay, but they were not called the 776. They had a long and complicated convoluted code that I can't remember because they were a field trial, right? SA something or something, I think. Right, the Queen's Silver Jubilee then came along in 1977, and the GPO wanted to make a phone available to their subscribers that would celebrate the Queen's Silver Jubilee. Now, people were much more behind the royal family back then than they are now. I mean, if the Queen had a Jubilee now, I don't think anybody would give a monkeys really. But in 1977, there was a Jubilee everything. You know, there were buses painted silver to celebrate the Jubilee. You could buy mugs and T-shirts and postcards and flags. You could buy bone china tea services. All got the Queen's picture on. You know, there was a Jubilee version of just about everything, and GPO decided they were going to do a telephone. STC did a Jubilee variant of the trim phone that they thought the GPO might pick up on, but the GPO didn't. What they did instead was they recalled all their compact phones that had been out on field trial, like this, put new dark blue cases on them, on every single one, and they called them Jubilee phones. And then they sent them out into the world as Jubilees. And they were moderately popular. Moderately popular. What really made them popular is the fact they would fit on a windowsill. So after the Jubilee, the GPO then started manufacturing more compact telephones, and they slightly modified them internally, and that is what became the 776. So all the field trial ones were used up as Jubilee phones in 1977 and got that dark blue case that you see on it. But then after 1977, when all the Jubilee ones that they'd done had been used up, when all the field trial phones had been used up, they started making new phones, and that's what this is. This is a 776. So the 776s are always dated after 1977. If you wonder where the field trial variants are, well, the field trial variants are what became the Jubilees. Okay, so you'll never find a field trial 776 from the early 70s, because they all got rebuilt as Jubilees. So here's the little one, and the oddball thing about these is to make them as small as they did, of course, the bell set is actually in the base of here. Now normally it's just a box that you would screw to the wall, normally screw to the skirting board or something, the bell set, and then there's a very long curly cord that goes between the bell set and the phone, a humongously long curly cord. I don't know if you can see that. Alright, and then a separate curly cord as normal to your handset. Yeah. But this one I've got here is not just a box, it's this special bracket to mount on the wall with the bell set in. Now these phones came generally with the bell set just in a normal plastic box that we've had on the channel before, but if you wanted a wall mounting one, you got this conversion kit, which was basically this thing, and then you put the bell set inside it. Now it all kind of clips together, and they notoriously break when you try and unclip them again. So I'm not going to try it with this one, but the bell set is in there basically. So there's a cord there that goes to your wall. Somebody has put a later plug and socket connection on this particular one, but that is the 776 with the humongously long cord. It's ridiculously long, this, because the idea was the bell set was normally stuck to your skirting board, you know, screwed onto your skirting board, then the phone was up on the windowsill perhaps. So that's the idea behind it. Now they came in different colours. The Jubilee, of course, they were all that dark blue, almost black colour, but the 776s came in this colour, which is allegedly grey. It's not ivory, it's grey. They came in a sort of tan brown colour, not dissimilar to the colour of this desk actually, maybe a little bit darker. And they also came, and it's the rarest colour, in bright blue. So if you've got a bright blue one, that is supposedly the rarest colour. And I think I've got all colour variants of these. But I actually quite like the Jubilee one. I like that really dark blue Jubilee one. I think that makes a nice phone, that one. The cases are slightly different, because on the Jubilee ones, the centre of the dial has got a Queen's crest on it. and it's a different crest in Scotland to the Scottish version ones to the rest of the country, but it's got a crest on there on the Jubilee ones, so there was nowhere to put a dial label with your phone number on. So what they did with the Jubilee ones, they put it on the top, on here. So the Jubilees have got a thing up here under the handset where you can put an oblong dial label in, which the 776s don't have. So they are slightly different. So when anybody says it's 776 stroke Jubilee, it's not. It's one or the other. They are actually totally separate things. But I just wanted to clear that up because everybody talks about them being 776 Jubilees. So hope we've cleared that up for you. Dominic says, I have always found the compact a bit of a curate's egg. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. Penfold says, the 776 Silver Jubilee phone in blue had two versions, the one with the English crown and the one with the Scottish crown. Never seen a Scottish one. Yeah, I've just said that, yeah. But it's not a 776. If it's a Silver Jubilee one, Penfold, it's not a 776. If you take them apart, the connections in the bell set are different, very, very slightly different on a Jubilee to a 776. If you follow instructions for wiring up a 776 to wire up a Jubilee or vice versa, it won't work. You'll get it wrong because the connection's different. Penfold says, the Jubilees may be worth more after the Queen's demise. You never know. You never know. Do you think people will start collecting all Queen Elizabeth stuff then? I thought people collected Queen Elizabeth stuff now though, because they have special coins and things, don't they? Dominic says it shows they had a lot of attention to detail, which I guess they did. Wesley says the dial labels on Jubilee versions that were under the handset were the same as the dial labels on push button trim phones. Yeah, I think they were actually, Dominic. Yeah, I think they are the same size label. Oh, Peter joined us. Hi, Peter. Dominic says, I think the lack of a dial bezel is partly why I think they look odd. And Wesley says he's going to have a look at his and see if his is from north or south of the border. He's obviously got a Jubilee. Yeah, have a little look and see the difference. See if you've got Scottish thistles or not on your dial label there on here. Right, so that is that. I think I shall put this back down where it was. The other thing, when we open this this new studio and that, is hopefully as part of the YouTube set we'll have some of the phones out on shelves to get rid of some of the boxes and boxes of stuff that we've got here. So you'll probably see racks of shelves, a bit like when we do a thing from the loft here and all those racks of phones. You'll probably see it from the new studio that we're hoping we'll be making a big announcement about in 2 or 3 weeks' time. Dominic says, what kind of dog is Odin? I'm looking after a Staffy. He's not a Staffy, Dominic. He's 3/4 Husky, 1/8 German Shepherd, and 1/8 Malamute. Odin, could you come and say hello? Come here. Come here, Odin. Odin the dog. Odin, the what's it? God is. What was he? A Norse god of war, so what wasn't he, Odin? Yeah, come on. Oh, here he is. Odin, say hello. Say hello. Say hello. Get your head down a bit. You're out of the shot, Odin. There you go. There you go. Say hello. Good boy. Good boy, Odin. What are you looking at over there? Something good over there. Good boy. You want to fuss now, don't you? You're out of the shot again, Odin. Odin, you have to go over. Oh, yes, thank you. Thank you. Yes. Odin's talking. Been slimed. That's Odin. Yeah, he's a bit camera shy. Oh, he's got his bit of rope now to play with. He's got his. Here he is. What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm trying to do a live show here. Ugh. Your mum will be coming for you soon. He's only visiting. I'm providing doggy daycare for him, you see. So he's only visiting. Aren't you? Eh? You're visiting tomorrow as well, aren't you? Before he pulls me out of the room. Jimmy says, have you still got your... No, we haven't, Jimmy. She passed away February of this year, 2021. Yeah, but she was 12, so she had a fairly good What? Don't you want me to do this anymore? Eh? What? What do you want? What's this look? What's this look? What is it? Oh, that's good, isn't it, Odin? That's good. You'll play with that down there. Penfold says, I bet being a husky, he pulls on a lead while walking. Good guess, Penfold, he does. Like a train. Don't you? You pull, don't you? You do. He also talks a lot, as you've heard. I did think, how am I going to do this live show on Sunday night when Odin's here? But he's actually not been too bad. He's been relatively quiet until now, so it's not too bad, are you, Odin? Good boy. Good boy, Odin. Good boy. That's why I'll get jumped up as he's gone now. I worry when he disappears. It's like he's up to something. Before we go, just a catch up on the payphone. It's still down here. Can I pick it up? Shall I pick it up and show you? Oh. This thing, which I'll pick up and show you and put back down again. It's still here. It's still got no innards in it. If anybody's got the internal workings for an American 3-slot payphone, get in touch. Because we are still looking for the internal workings for this. Odin's here now. Right where I want to put my feet. What are you doing? I've not had this much trouble. There's not been this much trouble on a live broadcast since Noel Edmonds had to deal with that lamb on Swap Shop. Or maybe Philip Schofield and Gordon the Gopher. Peter says, My brother inadvertently French kissed a husky. He was sitting in the back seat of his girlfriend's car with a husky in the back, which was panting with bad breath into the back seat. My brother grabbed the dog by its head in a playful way and said, "How would you like it?" and pulled his tongue out and panted at the dog. Go on, type more, Peter. We're waiting for the thrilling conclusion of that. He didn't count on the dog having a long tongue and licked his face and tongue as he stuck his tongue out. Right. I'll allow you to let that image sink in for a second while I just let Odin outside, shall I? Oh my God. So while that image sinks in, we'll take a very short break. Back in a minute. Come on then. There you go. Right. He's gone outside for a minute, I think. I think he's gone outside. He'll be back any minute now. He'll be back. Yes. Oh, Peter, I'm sure your brother's thrilled that you've shared that story. Or if you've got a story you want to share with us, just get on the YouTube chat if you're watching live. If you're not watching live, you can always send us a message. As I said earlier, get on the contact us form on andyshed.coldpress.net to send us a message. Right, I'd better go and see if Odin wants to come back in. Odin, you coming back in? Come on. Come on then now. Come on, Odin. Jump, 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 jump. And chomp, chomp, chomp. Ow, out my fingers! Crikey. Crikey, Odin. Right, shall we see if we can find some pictures and things. Just bear with me a moment, and we will see if we can find the pictures and that Christopher sent. Yes, won't I look some pictures, Odin? Yes. Just looking for them now. think we've about cracked it. Right, hang on. I've got them. I found them. Right. Right, we've got the pictures that have been sent in to us. These are sent in to us by Christopher 2000. First one that I've got to show you is the Red Rattler train. When we talk about the Red Rattler, there is the Red Rattler, and that's a relatively new photograph of it as well, of the old Red Rattler there. Oh, hang on, it's change size. That's it. That's the Red Rattler train that Christopher goes out and takes photos of, and I think I'm right in saying that's been not long restored. And they were in service until relatively recently, until I think maybe about 10 years ago, something like that. They survived a heck of a long time. And also, Christopher's been doing a bit of telephone work himself. So these are the bits and pieces that he got. Bit of wire, a crimping tool, modular plugs, looks like heat shrink tubing. Not sure what the little sort of oblong thing is on the bottom right there, Christopher. What's that? But yeah, so this is where Christopher was doing a bit of work, because what he was trying to do was that, and he's achieved that quite well. Now the problem you have with original GPO line cords is that they're round, and they're the devil's own thing to fit a modern plug onto the end of. And Christopher solved it quite well here by keeping the original line cord to the original GPO junction box that would normally have been screwed to your skirting board just inside the house somewhere, or just screwed to the corner of the window ledge if your phone cable came in through the corner of the window frame, like a lot did. But then from the other end of that, where the drop cable from outside would have been, Christopher's put a new piece of flat red cable with his new modular connector on the end of it. Now the question is, Christopher, where did you get a bit of red cable from? Because I've never seen it in red. I've seen it in black, I've seen it in white, and I've seen it in grey, but I've never seen it in red. So where did you get a red bit from? I would be intrigued to know where you got a red bit. Penfold says that thing in the bottom corner of that photo is probably a Zippo lighter, a poor man's heat gun. Do you think? Where is it? Where's the photo gone? That one. That picture. Do you think that's what it is? A Zippo lighter? A poor man's heat gun. I don't know if it is or not. I don't know. I can't tell. Christopher will tell us in a minute, I'm sure. Just have to let YouTube catch up, because there is a bit of a delay on YouTube. There's a picture. There is a bit of a delay on YouTube. So is that a Zippo lighter? Bottom right. Poor man's heat gun. We'll find out in a minute. I'm sure we'll catch up in a minute, and we'll discover if that is indeed a Zippo lighter at the bottom corner of that picture. Yeah, because you really want to know, don't you? You really want to know now. Yeah. Christopher says, I made the red phone line cord out of heat shrink. Ah, that's what the heat shrink was for. Oh, that's clever. So you shrunk it over the sort of white or creamy bit of cord you've got there. And it said, yes, it is a blue Zippo lighter, apparently. So who was it? Penfold. Penfold was correct again with the mystery object. He's doing quite well at this. So, but the outcome of that was actually very neat. I like it a lot how that turned out. It did actually come out very, very neat. It's a really good idea. I'm quite impressed with that. It's a good thing. And it's almost the right shade of red as well. Maybe just a little bit pinky, but it's not bad. You know, I've tried all sorts of things to colour the cord. I've tried colouring it with red marker pens. I've tried painting it. I've tried all sorts, and none of it has worked. So that may be the way to go if you're that bothered about having the same colour cord coming out of your little junction box as you've got going into your little junction box. But yeah, that's one of the better things that have been done. I quite like that. Cool. Right. So that's that. I've not been doing much in the way of phone restoration at all myself this week. It's been relatively quiet here on the phone front while I've been trying to sort out radio studio equipment and that. But like I say, yes, we do still need the innards for an American 3-slot payphone. If anybody knows where there might be some. But apart from that, I think we're alright. I am supposed to be having a little trip out soon to see somebody who got in touch with me last week. You know who you are if you're watching this. You know who you are. I will be in touch over the next few days about coming out to see you. It's one of the reasons we're coming off for a couple of weeks, because there's various little outside broadcastings I want to get recorded and stuff. So there are going to be things coming up. Next week, hopefully, a very special Escape the Shed with somebody on you may know other than me, but hopefully that'll be on next week in place of us here, and it will probably be a YouTube premiere, so it will still have chat and things on it. So those of you that are worried about, oh, I'm not going to be able to talk to everybody in the chat for a couple of weeks while you're off air, it's a YouTube premiere and they have live chat on, so you will be able to interact in the live chat while it's going out at 6 o'clock next Sunday evening, all being well. Right. And Dominic says, have you ever looked after any Jack Russells, Andy? Yeah, I look after yes, I have. I've looked after Jack Russell before. At the minute, I sometimes look after a miniature Jack Russell, which is a ridiculously small dog. Jack Russells aren't big in the first place, but imagine a miniature Jack Russell. Imagine how big that's not. Yes, Odin is back in now. He's come in and laid down here and is going to sleep, aren't you, Odin? Eh? Yeah, having a nap. Yeah, good dog. Good dog, aren't you? Good boy. Nearly time for you to go home, Odin. And if it's nearly time for Odin to go home, it must almost be time for me to say ta-ra, at least for this week. As I say, we're going to be taking 2, maybe 3 weeks off, and then we're going to be back with the next series of Andy's Shed Live, which will actually be Series 10. Can you believe we're up to Series 10? Odin, can you believe we're up to Series 10? Odin doesn't really care. But yeah, we're up to Series 10 is going to be starting in like I say, 2 or 3 weeks time, and that will be running over Christmas. For those of you who've been asking me if there are going to be any Escape the Shed lives over Christmas like there were last year, the answer to that one is hopefully yes. Over the Christmas holidays, we are going to be doing stuff over the Christmas holiday period. There are going to be some extra live shows and that over the Christmas holidays, hopefully. So that should be good. Wesley says, I've had Jack Russells. He says, and Border Collies. Dominic says, I had a Jack Russell. He passed away about 13 years ago. Yeah, a lot of people. Jack Russells, they seem to have fallen out of favour a bit just recently. You don't see anywhere near as many as you used to. Everybody used to have Jack Russells. Christopher says, did you get the email of the unknown 706 clone on Australian Railways? I haven't seen that one yet, Christopher, but if you've sent it sort of in the last couple of hours or so, it might not have got here yet. Don't say Jack Russell's very cheeky little things. Yes, they are. Very much so. And miniature Jack Russells are even more cheeky. But yeah. Right, I think that about wraps it up for today. As I say, we're going to be taking a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks break, and then we will be returning, hopefully with big news about this new radio studio and various other bits and pieces as well. There will be some more phone news, I'm pretty sure, by then as well. Yeah, I've got 1 or 2 projects that's sort of half finished at the minute that I need to kind of crack on with. You know, you get to a stage where you've got lots of things half done but nothing completed so you can tell the whole story. Jimmy says, I had a Springer Spaniel. Chris says, I sent the email a week ago. In that case, I didn't get it, Christopher. Send it again. Yeah, in that case, Christopher, I must have missed it. The problem is with the email, I get so much rubbish and spam, which is why I never give the email out. I always say, if you don't know the email, then go to the website, because otherwise I get loads of spam, and I get so much spam as it is that I go through it on my phone, delete, and if I just sort of catch it wrong with my thumb, I delete one I didn't mean to delete. So that may be what's happened, Christopher. So send it again, that one, because I've not seen that one, that red 706 clone. Yeah, it happens, I'm afraid, it happens. Right, I think that is about as far as we go for this week. It's almost time for Odin to go home, isn't it, Odin? Although Odin doesn't look terribly like he wants to go home at the minute. He's going to sleep on the floor down here. So, as I say, we'll see you in 2 or 3 weeks' time. In the meantime, don't forget, we will be back next week with a YouTube premiere of a very special Escape the Shed, where we found a bit of lost railway infrastructure that is just a bit bigger than anything we've found before. So, So we will be back in what will by then be December, won't it? Crikey, Christmas is just around the corner. But from us for now, remember, if you want to keep finding out what's happening while we're not doing the live shows for the next few weeks, then join us on Patreon for the equivalent of a US dollar, and I will be posting on Patreon throughout the time that we're off to all our patrons, and you'll be able to see exactly what's happening as it's happening before we come back with the live show. So I'll probably see you in the chat anyway next week if I'm not actually here live, and then yeah, like I say, 2 maybe 3 weeks away we will be back with another live show, series 10. Crikey, how time flies when you're having fun. But from all of us here at Andy's Shed for now, especially from Odin the dog, we'll see you next time. Bye everybody.